So can you speak a little bit about the personal statement? What do you write yours about, or how do you construct it, or what do you advise your clients?
Sure. So if you guys are tuned in, listen very carefully, because this is a secret that it's not rocket science. I'm sure if I told Steve, he's not going to be like, oh, that's all new to me. I'm sure this is stuff that he's heard before and he's seen before. But just think of it this way. You have essentially 5 to 6 sections in a personal statement, right? This is the basic construct. The first is the introduction. You want to start it off with a bang. You've got 10 to 15 to 20,000 applicants applying to schools. You want to grab their attention. So you want to start it off with a quote, with an action, something that really is going to grab their attention. And the litmus test for that is, imagine you are filming your life, your movie. How does it start? What's the opening scene of your life, right? Is it going to be you riding a bicycle into the sunset? Is it going to be you studying? Is it going to be you having an argument? Is it you going to be buying a house? What is it that's really going to get people excited? Then through that, you kind of provide implicitly context to what that action was and how it alludes to you wanting to go to law school. The second section is really about your background, who you are, give us the context of in law and why law even came on the radar. And you don't have to say, I love the law because. Never, ever use that. There's no reason to. A good written statement is all implicit. It's there for them to kind of figure out. It's not like in a movie, they say, he is the killer consistent throughout the movie. The movie proceeds and you figure it out, right? So the second paragraph is really about you and your life. If you're somebody who's like applying at the age of 21, 22, and you don't have a lot of professional experience, then you want to talk about your academic experience. You want to talk about your parents, your upbringing, what really kind of got you thinking about being an advocate. Section 3 is really about getting into the core, and that's the kind of crux paragraph. That's the pivot point. That's where you go from this is who I was and this is who I want to become, because the law is where I kind of want to go down that trajectory. So that is the really seminal pivot, kind of like the linchpin to the whole essay, is in that paragraph or section 3 that changes you from saying, and I was studying X and I realized I really want to go into Y because of this moment. And that moment should be taken back to the introduction. So the introduction, almost like a movie, starts with a gunshot. Somebody falls on the floor. We then pan back the scene to kind of the moment when they were both talking, right? And then we get back to that gunshot moment. And now we have context to it, right? Section 4 really kind of tells you about, well, given all of who I am, given what I've done, this is who, and this is why I want to go to law school, right? And this is why I want to pursue a legal career. And don't always say I want to be a lawyer. I much prefer to use the term legal advocate or advocate, because there's a whole range of stuff that doesn't necessarily fall into being branded as a lawyer, right? For example, for me, I practiced corporate law. I then did international development with the US government, traveling around the world doing development law. I then worked right now what I do is I help mentally and physically disabled people get their Social Security benefits. Yes, I'm in front of a judge. Yes, I'm arguing in front of him. Yes, I'm effectively a lawyer. But I've also done contract law. I've also given advice to people. So don't use that term lawyer. Use legal advocate or advocate. That's really described in section 4. Section 5 is just basically telling them, listen, if you have a linkage or connection to that law school, put it there. If you went to UCLA undergrad, say, hey, this is my alma mater. I really want to go to UCLA for these reasons. And there's a whole list of reasons which we can talk about, or we can talk about it offline, about what things to include in that section that's really relevant to that school. And then finally, section 6, or the conclusion, brings the whole thing back full circle. And exactly kind of like a continuum, you want to kind of bridge it back together like a movie. You want that closure, right? Think about that beautiful kind of like arc, like you see in the movies. It reaches a crescendo and then comes back, and there's a resolution. So you want to bring a resolution to that and then reiterate, that you want to go into law. That is the whole thing for the personal statement. You can apply that same formula for the diversity statement, just changing the purpose and scope of what you're trying to achieve in both statements.
Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.